Right now, I'm hopeful that we'll get a treaty that actually advances the situation. The risk of failure is still there, and that's a far worse option than using the tools we have to ensure that we at least have national goals that are published within a framework that says we're going to keep coming back and reviewing these every 5 years. If we can, holding it to 1.5 or at least well below 2, we can't allow the notion to be that 2 degrees Celsius global average temperature increase is somehow a target or that represents a safe zone. It's not safe at all for the planet, and given the science, we should avoid allowing global average temperature to go above 1.5 degrees. The other key thing is that the treaty be legally binding and that it include periodic reviews, a global stock taking that's synchronized for every nation and every 5 years at least, with a push to keep accelerating the commitments to reduce emissions, to increase financing, to help with adaptation. But for me, the reducing emissions, making sure they peak soon and start going down very, very soon is essential. Now, I'm not exuberant. This is 20 years late. I've watched 20 years of procrastination, political hypocrisy, but really levels of corporate criminality that should be exposed. You don't balance survival and bottom line, especially when doing the right thing on climate is actually good for economic health, prosperity, and job creation. So as soon as you talk about balancing, you're creating the impression that there's some competition, some kind of trade-off. All of that language is false, phony, and wrong. We're still a country that wastes more than half the energy we use. So this is not a question of how do you trade off or what's the balance. This is a question of when is there going to be the political will to stop subsidizing fossil fuels, to create the kind of diversified energy mix that will make our electricity grid more resilient, will help whole societies, cities right across the country, and create more jobs. The problem that we could have solved in 1987 and 1990 and 1992 has become steadily harder to solve because of the combination of corporate criminality and political hypocrisy.